Press conference has just wrapped for Anthony Joshua versus Jermaine Franklin. We're live on DAZN April 1st. This man was in the building as well, watching things from close up. What did you make of AJ, Mike?
Yeah, he seems determined to make a statement. But look, we've been at enough of these, Addy. You know, when you listen to what Joshua or Franklin is saying and try to dissect it, I often think it's not so much what they say, it's what they're truly feeling inside. You know, is AJ really feeling as confident as he sounded there about the changes, about being around Derek James, about getting rid of all the distractions? You know, because it's up to him to prove that that's all going to work on the night. I mean, it's my feeling that we won't see that much different on the night because he hasn't had enough time with Derek James to make those changes. If he wins here and goes on as we hope and expect against Dillian Whyte somewhere in the summer, at that point we might start to see something different. But right now, whatever those changes are, and we've seen this and had the debate recently with Chris Eubank Jr. and Roy Jones, and that place in their career where they have to decide how much of what's got them where they are they hold on to, and how much new that they take on board, with the danger that might affect.
Yeah, no, I've always said, I completely agree. I've always said I think it takes 3, sometimes 4 fight camps to get on sync with your trainer, which is why I'm surprised about the Robert Garcia link being stopped. Almost just at its stage, right? First stage. I thought he looked good against Usyk. Then you've got to stop it.
Why continue? There was obviously something there. And there was, you know, on that note, there was something in this press conference of a real respect and a bond between the two. We'll see now beyond fight time.
One thing I really do like about the Derek James link, I mean, look, Derek James, fantastic trainer. Errol Spence, Jamel Charlo, Frank Martin, just to name a few. But I like the fact that AJ's decided, okay, we're going to go to Texas. So it's not a case of trying to bring Derek James to Loughborough or Sheffield. We're going to go to him, and we're going to solely train there for this fight. That's a positive, surely. And
I also think environment is key. It's not just about being around a trainer, it's being around a gym, a very successful gym. How you can feed off of that success. And looking around, and not necessarily copying what the others are doing, because quite often when they get to this level, they train on their own anyway. But about being in a gym where there's been a lot of success, and that permeates.
I like the idea as well of people in that gym almost testing him a little bit. You're the former unified champ. You're the big dog. Let me get in and have a few rounds with you. There'll be guys in there that are 2-0 amateurs that want to test AJ, and it's those kind of tests that he probably might not have had in the UK just because he's Anthony Joshua and he's a bit more protected. Over in America, that protection's out of the way.
And so much of his professional career in terms of training has been in Sheffield, where whether you like it or not, when he walks in there,
he's the king.
And there's almost this bowing at his feet, because there are so many youngsters in there, male and female, who want to move on and do something like he's done. And so going somewhere where the atmosphere is very different, after all these years, you know, it might even harden him as a boxer. I know he talks about where he's come from and how he never wants to be poor again, and pressure's very different in the ring compared to not being able to pay your bills. But at the same time, there's a difference in being hard in the boxing sense, in a gym like that, which has got such a record of success. And it's almost like he's walked in there, and as you say, he's now got a match. What else is going on there? You can't drag the name of the gym down.
100%, right? He's not the big dog anymore. Errol Spence is there. 3 belts at welterweight. Undisputed Jamel Charlo's in the gym as well, so the big dogs in that gym. Me and you were both at the Jermaine Franklin Dillian Whyte fight. I think we both said that Whyte done enough to win, but we're impressed with Jermaine Franklin. Maybe we didn't expect as much from him. How impressed were you, and did you see enough of Jermaine Franklin to think he can cause AJ some problems?
I do. He's going to make AJ think. There's no question about that. I mean, just looking at them at the head-to-head, and even as they sat behind the dais behind us here, you can see that Franklin is the smaller man. We saw issues for Joshua against the smaller man, Andy Ruiz. Now, Franklin isn't, for me, quite as mobile. I thought also there were periods in the fight against Dillian Whyte where he had success, and I thought, right, he's going to go and build on this.
And he kind of stepped back.
Almost boxed in patches. Now, was that partly because it was his first 12 round, going that championship distance, and what it means to? I know he'd been 10 rounds before, but that going that championship distance, you know, it's a big mental hurdle to climb. And I think from that we'll actually see an improved Franklin, but I still don't think an improved Franklin it will be good enough to beat Anthony Joshua. I think Joshua's more explosive than Dillian White, and I think there's a chance here to look good and to quote Eddie Hearn, to make a statement. Yeah,
I mean, look, if the AJ that turned up for Oleksandr Usyk 2 turns up April 1st and that guy wins and wins comfortably, I thought AJ actually looked good against Usyk. Back to the O2 Arena for AJ. He hasn't been there since 2016. I think the last fight there was Dominic Brazil, so it's been a while. It feels like this rebuild, this new dawn as they're billing it, it almost seems right that it goes back to the O2 to start this new journey of AJ.
Yeah. Where the professional career started, and he's getting close to a decade as a pro now.
Still looks the same.
Where the world title reign started, and he said there he still feels young, still feels fresh. And if you look at those in the past who've won the world heavyweight title 3 times, Ali and Holyfield and Lennox Lewis, you look at their ages, they're getting towards mid-30s and beyond.
Yeah, good shout, very good shout.
So he's in good stead in that sense.
It's not a bad camp to be in, that one.
And also, if you look at the miles on the clock, I often say that you can judge a fighter's age not so much by the turning of the pages of the calendar, but the number of hard rounds that they've had. And actually, in his career, yes,
not many.
Not many. The Klitschko fight and the first fight against Ruiz, but actually, in terms of real wars, the kind of thriller in Manila wars, there's not too much mileage there. So there is still time, I believe, for him to come again.
It was so weird watching this press conference, and normally when you watch an AJ fight, there's about 100 belts all lined up. No belts. For the first time in how many years? No belts. 12 fights I think it is. Is that a relief for him? I mean, no one wants to lose their world titles, but is that a bit of a relief that, okay, we can go back and get them now, as opposed to always trying to defend against the next best?
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a factor in this fight. I think for him, it's moving back towards that elite level. And we're at a stage now where the World Heavyweight Championship is actually the British Heavyweight Championship. And is only going to get stronger with Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois coming through, and even others behind them.
Yeah, Moses Atuma coming.
This is a good time for Anthony Joshua to be reborn with so much going on at the top end that is huge domestically as well as the impact it has on the global sport.
Final couple of points. Eddie, and I spoke to Joe Markowski as well, and they said the aim is 3 fights this year for AJ. Easier said than done. I can't remember the last time AJ's had 3 fights. I mean, I think maybe you have to go back to 2014 or maybe even 2013. How likely is that? They're saying this one, a Dillian White one potentially in the summer if he comes through this, and then the big one at the end of the year, whether it be a Wilder, a Joyce or a Fury. Do you think we'll see AJ fight 3 times this year?
I think we have to, and I think it's for his good. You go back now, so he fought Pulev, he fought Usyk, and he fought Usyk. Each of them were the only fight he had, was the only fight
in that year.
In that year. I think he's much better when he's busy.
Yeah.
When he's just rolling over in the gym. He loves being in the gym, so instead of just stewing over when's the next fight happening and just Derek James said there he's an intellectual. He thinks about this game a lot. And I think there's a danger that there's overthinking. When you're only fighting once a year, you spend so much time thinking about what's going to happen, who am I fighting, am I doing it right, have I got the right trainer, right gym, right sessions. Whereas if he's fighting 3 times a year, he's got a different kind of focus each time. If he's going to fight in the summer months here, then he all goes well, he wins on April the 1st, has a couple of weeks off, then back in the gym. Just like the guys I mentioned earlier on who won it 3 times, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They thrive.
You've got to stay busy. You've got to stay busy. Sometimes, what do they say? You leave it all in the gym. And you wonder if that's what he's been doing for the last couple of fights.
More important now, Addy, because he's got his new trainer. He's got to get this stuff working on the night. It's all right working on it and having it work in Houston in the gym. He's got to make it work under the lights on the night. It won't all work, if any of it works, on the first time on April the 1st. Maybe won't all work against Dillian White, but keep getting out there, keep getting busy, keep trying this new relationship and all that it's supposed to be bringing him. And then by the time he gets that massive fight, whether it's Usyk, Fury, Wilder, whoever you say, then he's ready. The 2 of them are bonded and he's ready.
Always love speaking to Mike Costello. April 1st, AJ is back live on DAZN, not pay-per-view. He takes on Jermaine Franklin. So much fights, though, to come before that. Let's not forget we've got Wood Lara, big one, February the 18th, Nottingham Arena. We go to Liverpool as well, Callum Smith on that card. So much boxing. Mike will be back in the hot seat doing what he does best. Hopefully coming to do the closing segments with me as well. They always seem to force us up there, Mike, to do that, but we'll continue to do that. But look, make sure you tune in. Make sure you subscribe to DAZN as well. So much content coming between now and then. For us, have a good one. Enjoy.